Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Nick Marro here with DFS Jayhawk, as always, helping you break down tonight's NBA DFS main slate on both DraftKings and FanDuel. Only two games tonight. I think the main reason for that is we got the national championship game between Houston and Florida taking place. NBA didn't want to interfere too much with that, I think, in terms of ratings, etc. Understandable. But yeah, man, only two games. Probably going to be talking about some pretty gross plays as we dig through these two teams. We already got a lot of news coming in, but Jayhawk, what are your initial takes here on this one?
Yeah, it actually looks like a more fun two gamer than I expected going in here. Obviously, the Heat highlight the probably the best overall team now, but yeah, excited to break down this two gamer.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you guys being here. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, helps us keep pumping out this free content for you on a regular basis. Only a couple weeks left of the regular season. Playoffs, we're probably going to do some streams, but those likes and subscriptions definitely help that cause. Appreciate you guys being here. Definitely going to get to any chat today. Ben Jizzy, appreciate you. Unicorn as well. We got Beantown in here saying hello. Heath, as always. What's up, Heath? Screenshots every night from Heath, man. Just a good one of the good stories of the year. Seeing you get behind the paywall and continue to crush. Chris, with some of the news we were just talking about, Bam is indeed out. Miami makes me nervous. Everyone gets ruled in. Yeah, Beantown, we're getting some news that they're out, so we'll talk through in detail all four of these teams. So don't worry about that. Love what Landon's saying here too. Hey, small slate but big money. That's going to be the mantra today. But yeah, let's get right into this one, man. So we got two games. I'm pulling up the 5:30 Eastern injury report. We already got more news than was provided here. But let's start with the Sacramento Kings taking on the Detroit Pistons in Detroit. 230-point total here. I think a 6-point spread last we checked. Yeah, on the Sacramento side, no Jake LaRavia, no Keegan Murray, which is probably the most significant bit of news. Mason Jones back with the G League, as is Isaiah Crawford. But Keon Ellis currently listed as questionable. I do think that matters. He was kind of a late ad, I think. So usually when we get a guy late in the day added to the injury report, it means they're going to be out. Definitely something to keep an eye on, though. If he is out, I don't know how much we're going to be rushing to get to someone like Devin Carter. He's probably the guy who would benefit the most. Markel Fultz has actually been seeing some garbage time lately. But more than anything, I think we could just like the starters a little bit more here. With Keegan Murray out, though, Trey Lyles is going to look pretty solid. Sorting by value on DK. Still not really towards the top yet. Only have him for 24 minutes. But again, two-game slate. If you're looking to pay up at other positions, I definitely think he makes some sense. And then over on FanDuel, yeah, not rating nearly as well in terms of value over there. But yeah, man, I mean, usually this doesn't feel like a team I'd be super in on, even with some of this news. Obviously, on a two-game slate, though, they're kind of unavoidable. Just kind of starting my off index. DeRozan at the top. Kind of weird to see him above Sabonis, honestly. At the same time, I mean, he has been producing at a very high level. Not quite as much in terms of raw point upside. And as I'm saying that, I mean, I'm looking at the game log. I mean, he has been getting to 50 points as much, if not more, than Sabonis lately. These two are my favorites here. I do think Lyles is pretty safe for value. I'd feel better about Monk if Ellis is out. But yeah, man, give me your kind of rundown of these Kings. Obviously, we got to go into detail on all these teams today.
Yeah, so Kings here, I agree. Typically would not be a team I'd be flocking to get to, but on this two gamer, I think we definitely ought to consider some of these guys here. So Keon Ellis, if he does play, I do have projected as one of the top value plays. So if he plays, I think he looks really good. And then both DeMar and Sabonis, I both like a ton. In this matchup in particular, I think I ride with DeRozan a little bit more, kind of up tempo. And then I'm getting to some Levine, but I'm getting way more DeRozan. I think it's just because DeRozan's had kind of a safer floor than Levine. And then I really like Trey Lyles for cheap, especially with Keegan Murray out here. Doesn't project out as good, but I think he looks really good at his price. So definitely like the value guys from the Kings here.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Back-to-back games over 20 fantasy points for Trey Lyles. He's looked good. And to your point, I do favor DeRozan over Levine. I will certainly say that. But Levine coming in about half the ownership. So if you're looking to get a little bit different, I don't think it's a crazy pivot. But yeah, obviously, I do think DeRozan the better play of the two. I think you could get to any of the big three here, Levine, DeRozan, Sabonis, regardless of what happens with Keon Ellis. Won't really have any interest in Monk, though, unless Keon's out. Monk, last two games, 20 minutes and 22 respectively. Obviously not something you want to see, especially when you're paying 7K for him on DK or 167 over on FanDuel. But if he gets a bit of a boost here in terms of his minutes, definitely going to come with some upside. Really no interest in Joval here. I mean, the minutes just haven't been there. Obviously, no Keegan Murray, but I think they're still fine as far as center goes, just having Sabonis available. But yeah, I mean, that's our initial take on this team. Obviously, we'll come back if we do get the starting lineup in or we get that Keon Ellis news. Like I said, though, I think the big three are good. Lyles looks really solid for value. And then Monk only if Ellis is out. If Ellis is in, we see the ownership. I mean, everyone's getting to him. He's been really solid as the starter. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Even on a 2 game slate, we're dealing with these late news. Over on the Detroit side of things, Jalen Duran is questionable. Obviously, that's going to be significant here. Tobias Harris, questionable as well. No Jaden Ivey, and then a few G Leaguers listed here. Duran, to me, is very interesting, obviously. If he's out, do we see maybe Isaiah Stewart get the start at the 5? Always in danger of getting ejected because of who he is, but obviously, as a starter here, he looked really good. And then, yeah, I think, did I say Tobias was questionable as well? Yeah, he's still questionable. So it's funny, for a 2 gamer, we're still waiting on a lot of news. Cade, obviously, one of the top pay ups on the slate. Obviously, plenty of upside here. We're going to talk about someone in the next game, but I think we have to prioritize over him. But at the same time, I mean, if that ownership on him comes down even a little bit, just chasing that upside at low ownership definitely makes some sense. Tim Hardaway, we've crapped on this guy all season. He didn't play great against Memphis, but he's been really solid the past week or so. Not someone I'm usually clamoring to get to on a 2 gamer, though I do think it makes some sense. And yeah, man, I hate to talk through every single play here, but we kind of have to on the 2 gamer. Oscar's been good. Minutes have been up 3 straight games where he's pushing 40 fantasy points. Obviously, love to see that. Would feel better about him if Tobias is out. I do think he's under owned, though, even with Tobias in the just 50% and 25% on FanDuel. Malik Beasley off the bench, okay, would want one of these starters to be out to feel a little bit better about him. But on a 2 gamer, I mean, just chasing his upside makes some sense. That's enough from me for Detroit for now. How about you, man? How you kind of breaking this team down here? Obviously, we're still waiting on some news.
Yeah, man, great shot with the questionable calls. I think Duran, I think probably the most important one for me, though. If he misses, I think Isaiah Stewart was going to look really good for value here. Even at an increased price tag, still think it's a great spot for Isaiah. So I would love him if Duran misses. And then I think Cade is probably my favorite spend up outside of Hero now. Just a very good total, very good spot for Cade. The one thing that scares me is the price, but if we have value like Lyles and potentially Kyle Anderson, we'll talk about later. We have enough. I think we can fit in at least 1 to 2 of these guys up top. So definitely like Cade in this game. And then if Tobias misses, you mentioned it. I think Azar is going to look a lot better. The big thing for me is the rebounding. I think Azar gets a lot more rebounds when we do see Tobias miss. So yeah, we really like Azar as well in tournaments if he misses.
Yeah, man, it's funny for a 2 gamer. We're waiting on this much news, but it kind of is what it is. We'll obviously talk through it. If you guys have questions specifically about how to handle these things, give us the certain scenario you might expect happens. We're happy to talk through it. But yeah, Stewart, if Duran's out, it's going to look really good. I don't have much interest in him now. The model is finally given up on Paul Reed, which I'm happy to see. But there is a world where he were to get the start, in which case, obviously, he'd become very appealing. But I do think it would be Stewart. They don't really seem all that invested in Paul Reed as a part of this rotation, regardless of who's out. Um, but yeah, let's take a quick look at chat here. Jose, good to see you, man. Would be concerned if you weren't here, man. You're one of our regulars. Love to see it. After I with Grimes today, this is going to be a good transition, Don. We'll talk about him in a minute. Lyles or Slow-Mo if Bam is out. I'd say if Slow-Mo starts, maybe Slow-Mo. He's burnt me so many times, though. I still kind of lean Lyles. Jayhawk, what's your take there?
Man, it's so close. I'm gonna probably end up overweight on both, but as of right now, I'll probably say Lyles because he's probably safer. But I think both are good.
Yeah, another good question from Jose here. Bono or Stewart if they both start. So that would be Durant out for Detroit, in which case I do think it's Stewart. You're going to get him at a bit of a discount. Bona, if this both all 4 of these teams were healthy, would be one of my favorite plays. And healthy, I mean as healthy as they've been lately. But yeah, Stewart, I mean, I don't know, 500, 600 cheaper on both sides. He would look really solid. Are you with me on that one, or how do you feel about those two?
So I think it's a little bit tougher. I think because I think Bono looks really good too. I agree. I think Stewart probably would project out a little bit better. So I'd say Stewart, but I think it's pretty close for me.
Yeah, and just to throw another wrench into that mix, we have no Bam in the next game, so Khalil Ware is probably somebody you want to be considering at center here as well. I'm going to refresh the model in a minute, but let's go ahead and break down this next game, and we can kind of figure out how we want to go about some of this news. A couple more pieces of chat here before we get going. Had Stewart last game and it was monstrous. Yeah, he went off. Hopefully we can get that again here. Finch saying hello, hello there. Hero Ware for DFS, buddy. Totally with you. And yeah, Unicorn, we already know Bam's out. Appreciate you following up on that one, though. Obviously, very, very significant news. But we'll use that to transition to this next game. Don brought up Quentin Grimes' play he's interested in. Starting on the Philadelphia side here, 215.5 point total. I think a 13 point spread, but that came before some of this news, so maybe that tightens up a bit. No Andre Drummond. Justin Edwards is questionable. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Eric Gordon are all out. Kyle Lowry is questionable. No Maxi McCain, Oubre, or Yabusele. So starting on the Philadelphia side of things, still waiting on Justin Edwards, who's viable if he's in, about 30% owned on both sides. His price has actually come down a little bit, which makes him pretty interesting again. Obviously, with no Yabusele, a little bit safer than he could be in some of these other games, even without Embiid. Obviously, no Drummond. But yeah, Lonnie Walker, very likely to get the start here. The price on him's up, but he's the guy who's probably going to be taking the most shots for this team other than Quentin Grimes. I don't mind getting to a lot of Lonnie. At the same time, 50% does feel high. Just going to keep in mind, this is a 2 game slate. So some of these inflated ownerships aren't as inflated as maybe you're used to. I do think he looks good, though. Jared Butler, probably going to get the start here. His price is reasonable. Fine getting to him. Again, not always excited to get to this team, but on a 2 game slate, we kind of have to. And then Don brought up Quentin Grimes as another pay up. I mean, I think we both prefer Cade, but Quentin definitely someone you could mix in at lower ownership. His price came down a bit. He's below 9K again now, which we obviously love to see. With a bunch of guys out for Miami too, this matchup becomes a little bit more favorable than it has been. But yeah, Jayhawk, give me your breakdown of Philadelphia. The Edwards news does matter, I think, but kind of leaning he'll be in here. But I guess we got to wait and see. How you handling the 76ers?
Yeah, so Philly, obviously the current chalkiest team on the slate here. I think it definitely starts with the three you mentioned: Bona, pull them all up here, Bona, Walker, and Butler. I think I'd probably rank them a little bit different. I think Bona and Butler I do slightly prefer. Lonnie's fine, I think so, but he just always scares me when he's chalky. So
Yeah.
I think he's still good, but I do prefer Bona and Butler. And then Justin Edwards, I kind of wanted your take because I think he's slightly overowned. I'm projecting him less than the industry is here. I don't know if it's just his minutes or whatever, but I'm actually underweight on Justin Edwards here. So did you have a different take here with Edwards?
I mean, he played 11 against Minnesota. I think he got hurt that game, though, right? That's why he's
Yeah.
questionable today. I mean, if we're going to get, what do we have him for here? 29 minutes. I mean, I like him because his price has come down. He was over 6K for a while. And again, this is a 2 game slate. If this was one of the 10 gamers we're usually breaking down, I'd have zero interest at all. But I do think he's somewhat
Yeah.
interesting. Let me counter you with a question of my own here. Are you
Okay.
getting to any Grimes at all?
So Grimes, he's been another guy I just have not got right this season, but I think it's fine to match the field. But I personally, in my 20 max, I'll probably try to be a little bit underweight and try to go overweight on Hero and Cade.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. At the same time, he is very low owned for a 2 game slate. Like 18% on a 2 gamer for a guy with his upside is kind of crazy. I do feel way better about even like some of the Sacramento guys like Sabonis, DeRozan, maybe even Levine at his price. But yeah, I definitely prefer Cade and Hero, who we're about to talk about. On the Miami side of things, a lot of news already. Bam is out. Burks is in. Hero is in. Did we get Highsmith news? He was questionable. I don't see him yet, so he's still questionable. No Jovic, Kevin Love, Duncan Robinson is available. Drew Smith out, and Wiggins is out. So Wiggins earlier today was actually one of the highest owned plays on the slate. I'm gonna have to refresh the model because he's still one of the highest owned plays on the slate here. Let me do that right now. Actually, there's no more use talking through this until I do. Scrolling right back down, pulling up Miami. But yeah, I mean, first and foremost, Hero looks outstanding now, pushing a 12.0 of index rating with these guys ruled out. Khalil Ware, we've seen without Bam, that's where we're getting the ceiling games out of him. I do like Bona. I do like. I don't know, Stewart if Duren's out. Don't mind Duren if he's in, but I don't want to overlook Khalil Ware. He's been really solid. Center only makes it a little bit tough, but I do think he's solid, especially on DK where you can play two of them. I know the point guard's not out here, but Davion Mitchell has been a beast off the bench. Let's see here. 5 of his last 6 games over 30 fantasy points. If you're looking for value, he's one of my favorites. And I'm a little bit surprised he's not a bit more popular. I know the prices come up on him, but he has been so productive, taking way more shots than he has at any other point in his career. I think Alec Burks is going to get a lot of love here. Coming off a huge game against Milwaukee, he's good. He's cheap. I don't think this ownership holds, though. If he stays at 10%, he might be the best tournament play on the slate. If we start to see this number creep closer to Mitchell, I'd rather get to Mitchell. But, I mean, at a third of the ownership and a fourth on FanDuel, Burks looks outstanding. And we do have to talk about what we think the starting lineup's going to look like. I'm thinking it's going to be Larson and Highsmith. I know there's people wanting it to be Kyle Anderson. Obviously, Anderson coming off a game where he played 32 minutes would be really, really appealing at his price. But we always got to proceed with caution with him. I'd feel better if he's starting. Don't mind mixing him in. Just someone to keep an eye on the ownership with. Of those three, I know you're not going to like this. I think Pele might be the safest just in terms of minutes. But he's very inconsistent, so I don't think you have to force him in. But yeah, man, just another team with a lot of injuries. Makes it 2-gamer fun, though. How are you breaking down the Heat?
Yeah, man. Just to comment on that Pele take, I mean, he played 39 minutes last game. He just shot horrific from the field. I think the short play, man, I'm with you. I'm going to go back there. He's going to make his shots tonight. I can feel it. So love that.
Yeah,
So love that Pele call. And then, man, yeah, Kyle Anderson. I want to get there, but if he doesn't start, I mean, that low minutes concern is always there. So I'd be a little bit scared with Kyle. And then do love the Davion Cole. He has been awesome for Miami off the bench. He's really thriving off the bench for them. So
yeah,
love him. And then my favorite play actually, even might be more than Heroes, Khalil Ware. I think this is very, very good spot for Khalil Ware. No Bam against this Philly front court. I think he should have a good time tonight against this Philly front court. So I
absolutely.
love Ware. And then Hero, obviously, don't need to say much there. Probably the best guard playing the slate now.
Yeah, man, right there with you. I think if there are core plays for the Miami Heat, it's definitely Hero first and then Khalil Ware. If we're sorting by value on both sites, Khalil Ware, the top of Miami. And let's just pull the tag here. Top, I think, on the entire slates, only behind Adembona on DK. So obviously that's a tough choice to make. But he is the top value play on FanDuel. So go ahead and use that center spot. 5,700 for him just feels too cheap. So on DK, I think I want to play both of them. Obviously, this becomes interesting, though, if Durant is out because Stewart's going to be in that mix as well. Who would have thought that we'd have to make tough decisions at center tonight on a 2-game slate? But yeah, man, things are getting really interesting. Luckily, Trey Lyles has power forward eligibility. You can still use him as a forward. But yeah, let me just see if any more news has come out. Again, I'll keep refreshing. We're going to talk about some bench plays that we normally wouldn't even be thinking about. But again, 2-game slate with a lot of injuries. So Justin Edwards, it's a rib injury, and per coach Nurse is a game time decision. So we got to wait and see on that one. That's almost enough for me to not get there. At the same time, I do think he's interesting if no one wants to play him. I'm trying to think who's going to benefit the most if he's out. Marcus Bagley's been productive, but not productive enough compared to some of the other value. Um, Council's kind of fallen out of favor. Hood Shafino's a guard, so it's not going to be him. Like, who is it, man? That's really going to benefit with Edwards out. Is it just more Bona?
And that's tough. Yeah, I think it could be Bagley. The Philly rotations, man, they're always so it's just like, dude, it's just like the Heat rotation. Like, what do we predict here? Like
Right.
maybe Bagley gets come more. I don't know. It's tough for sure.
Yeah, if there was suddenly to give Bagley a start, I would be interested. Like I said, he's been productive. He's just not getting enough minutes necessarily. He's so cheap though on a slate like this. If you want to fit Cade with Hero and maybe a DeRozan, then you're gonna have to be playing some of these guys to make that work. But definitely a spot we have to keep an eye on. No other news yet. We're starting to get tomorrow's news. Obviously, a much bigger slate, I imagine. So we'll wait and see on that. But we'll definitely talk you guys through any lineup questions, strategy questions, anything. Feel free to throw them. Also, a little bit of extra time today. I have FanDuel pulled up, so we should be able to do 2 dummy builds at the end of this. But let's get back to chat here and see what's going on. Yeah, DFS buddy got Hero Grimes and where right now. Yeah, man, like I said, I don't love Grimes, but at the same time, the whole field is thinking that way. So if you're looking to get different, might be the easiest way to go. and Power got all the MLB going on while we were talking. Can't even make any jokes. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm an MLB guy too. Help break the plug every day here at Occupy. All the more reason to get behind that paywall. But yeah, definitely got my mind split. If you guys want to throw an MLB question, I'll try to get to it too. Again, just filling some time here today. Durant news is massive. Yeah, Sabonis is talented as he is offensively. Not really a matchup you need to worry about with centers. Sabonis good rebounder, but guys offensively can get what they need to. Unicorn Slow-Mo is Kyle Anderson. Sorry for those who didn't know that. That's kind of a well-known nickname. Maybe not that well-known, I guess, but it's because it looks like he's playing in slow motion when he's out there. It's still effective, but one of the better nicknames in the league, I'd say. If Walker comes off the bench, we'd still be okay with him. Beantown, the price has come up to a point where I'd proceed with caution. I don't think he comes off the bench, though. Like, who could start over him? It would have to be Lowry next to Butler. That doesn't seem very likely. Yeah, I just don't really think there's a situation where that could work. But to answer your question, no, I wouldn't like him nearly as much. Jayhawk, any take on that? I don't think they could pull Walker off the bench here. They're just too thin.
Yeah, just tonight, like in the past couple games, we've seen him come off the bench, but I think, yeah, you mentioned with how low they are. I think he probably starts her.
Yeah. Power did get a pun in today, and it's a good one. Pele can go to LA. Really good one, Power. Appreciate that. On a two gamer, they're tougher to find. Guys helping Unicorn out with the slow mo name. Jose here, hoping to runs out. Want to run Stewart and Bona together in a two center lineup. Yeah, man. Just don't sleep on Khalil Ware because he could crush here. But I'm with you. I think those are two really good center plays. Like we have three great center plays if Duran's out, and even if Duran's in, I mean there are some really solid ones. Please rank the following: Cunningham, Hero, and Grimes. For me, it's Hero because of the price, then Cunningham, then Grimes. How about you, Jayhawk?
Yep, exactly how you put it
Yep.
here for now.
I do think Cunningham's my preferred pivot for slightly less ownership than Hero over Grimes, but yeah, that's how I'd rank them. Edwards the four is what we're thinking. Grimes, Council, Butler, Bona. I don't think Council would start if they're all available. I think it would be Council off the bench. Because yeah, they need the spacing. I mean, they could run Grimes at the two, I guess Council at the three. But like I said, I mean, two games in a row, Council played 2 minutes against Minnesota, 16 against Milwaukee. Nurse is kind of a moody coach. I think he's falling out of favor right now. Maybe he gets back in his favor. Obviously, things change quickly, especially this time of the year. But something to keep an eye on. Definitely worth talking through, though, B-Town. Appreciate the question regardless. All right, we're making pretty good time, Jayhawk. Let me refresh one more time, see if we got any news coming in from these beats. Nothing. So we can start to build a dummy. It's tough though, right? We need
Yeah.
to wait on some of this news. Oh God, Kyle Lowry's available. What does that do? Maybe downgrade Butler slightly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll play too much of a role. I mean, I still think he'll probably be limited somewhat. So maybe a little bit of downgrade, but not much for
A
me.
little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Downton's been getting minutes. I still think Downton's probably going to get his 20 plus. Um, I don't know. If anything, maybe just slightly less Butler, but I still think Butler looks pretty good. All right, let's start with DK. Um, let's assume never assume they say, right? I'm trying to think. Do we want to go with Durant is in or out?
So here, this might be the wrong take, but I'm actually leaning Duran plays tonight, and I'm thinking Tobias misses. It's kind of my hunch, but we'll see.
I like that. I think let's pretend that's the situation. If it changes, it changes. But for now, let's build that way. So where we started with some of these Miami guys, right? Probably Hero.
Hero for
And if
sure.
Durant's in, I think we could go where pretty confidently.
Yep. Love where.
Okay. Are we going Bona? Double center?
For right now, yeah, I think Bona's the guy for sure.
Yeah, and again, if Durant's out, you could maybe go Stewart over one of these two, upgrade elsewhere. I think this is the move for now, though. We got Hero. Do we want to try to jam Cade and see what we can build around it, or do we want to go more balanced?
Yeah, I'm fine with Cade. I mean, I think we probably want to get one of Lonnie or Butler. I don't care which one. I'm cool with either one.
Ooh, yeah, it's tricky.
We can go Lonnie, unless
Yeah, I like that Lonnie has the forward eligibility. Like that's
yeah,
honestly the only thing that's making me prefer him. I think Butler's floor is higher, but I think Walker's ceiling is slightly higher. So let's go there. I also really like Davion Mitchell.
yep,
Um, thing is, he's point guard. If we go with him, we can't play Cade. Actually, does Hero have shooting guard?
No,
No.
they're all point guards. It's so annoying.
God, they're making it hard on us, man.
I know.
So no Davion, I guess, is what it is. We'll jam in Cade. See how
Yep.
this looks.
Like
Trey Lyles is one of our favorites, right?
Miles is good.
All right, 5,200 for a shooting guard and a forward.
Ooh, this is tough.
THJ, pretty gross.
I should look.
Burks, if he starts, looks pretty good.
Let's look at DK value here. We have Keon if he plays. He's going to be pretty chalky, 43, but he might not even play.
Right. Yeah, if Keon plays, it's Keon for sure.
Probably Keon. I should look who else though. Yeah, Burks. I see Duncan Robinson down here. I don't know if I want to get there, but he's projected to be pretty chalky too.
That scares me, man. He had a good game against Milwaukee by his own standards. Made 4 out of 10 threes. If he's going to take 10 threes, I don't mind it. I think Burks is a little bit safer, but Duncan more popular, interestingly enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so tough to predict Duncan versus Burks because they could just bench Duncan and just totally troll. So
if Harris is out, I almost feel like I want to go back to THJ, as gross as that is, but I think it's probably Burks, right?
Yeah, I'm cool with Burks.
I just wish Davion had shooting guard eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
That'd make it a lot easier. All right, we'll go Burks for now. Obviously, this could change, and then we're left with 6,200 at forward. Murray's out, and this is gross, man. We got to move some stuff around. So, all right, let's backtrack on the Burks stuff. Let's see what forwards we can get to. I mean, we got Larson. Man, it's tricky today. I mean, unless we don't go to center and we go Davion, but that's not really saving us any salary. Kyle Anderson's there, Hardaway's there, Larson's there.
Should we look at a non-K build too? And just see what we can do.
Actually, this is probably the move. Since we're having so much trouble, maybe let's just go Davion Mitchell.
I like it. Yeah.
Now we got 7,700 per, and now we could maybe get DeRozan.
Yep, love DeRozan today.
And Monk, or I don't love Monk, but does DeRozan have guard eligibility? Nope, forward only. DK's gotten tougher with the multi-position. I mean, Walker could go to shooting guard. And that leaves us 71. Wiggins is out. I mean, Thompson, if...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're getting closer. Yeah. I mean, we leave some on the table. Honestly, 2-gamer, though, that's the type of slate I'm more comfortable leaving something on the table. We got Thompson here. I mean, we're getting closer, I think. This doesn't look bad to me. I will say the Walker play feels a little bit dicey. There's really nothing in that range to pivot to. This isn't bad.
I like it. Yeah, we have low on plays too, so I like it.
Yeah, 500 left on the board isn't too insane. Like, for those wondering, I probably would leave more than 1K. I think that's a little bit over aggressive, but as things stand, this is probably a good place to be landing. Let's do the very rare FanDuel build. Let's do a quick refresh and see what's popular.
We're looking at a FanDuel on here. We haven't done a FanDuel.
I know. We never really get to it, except for these short slates. Keon's still the most popular play. I think he's going to be out, man. That's going to be interesting. We're starting with Hero. I think DeRozan's just wrong. His price is wrong over here, too.
Yeah, that's what I like, too.
We got Hero. We got DeRozan. Center's tough. I mean, we got Lyles at power forward still. He's so cheap. Here, I think Davion has multi-position. No, he doesn't.
Just point guard
again. Back. What's that?
Just point guard again for Davion. They don't want to give us shooting guard, man. What's going on?
I know. Do you want to go Khalil?
I love Khalil tonight. Yeah,
57 is crazy for him. I like Bona too. Don't get me wrong, but 57 is just wrong. And guys, keep in mind if Durant is out, Stewart has power forward eligibility on FanDuel, so that makes it easier. 6,600 per. Where else are we going? Anything obvious we're missing?
What's Lonnie? Lonnie's 5,400. He's pretty chalky in FanDuel. Should we plug him into?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Okay.
And again, Lonnie is a little bit riskier than some of these other plays we're talking through, but I do think they're going to need him shooting tonight. Uh, what if we jam Cade here? What is that going to look like? All right, we're paying down at shooting guard. We got Beasley, Hardaway, Larson. Where's Burks? Oh, he's priced up. 4.8 isn't bad if he starts. I could also move Lonnie to shooting guard, I think. Nope. Both sites really skipping us on the multi position, which is annoying too, because you'd want to get different builds on these two gamers. Like, they're not making it easy.
Did you have a lean of Keon's going to play or not? Because if we have a lean here, we can either build him in or build him out.
I think he's not going to be in
You
because
think
it
it's going
was
to
a
be out?
late ad. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Like,
then
let me check the time that this came out.
I
Normally,
guess
there's enough time. Go
we
ahead.
didn't talk in depth about Devin Carter. You would think he'd start here, right, for Keon, or do you think they'd like shift Monk
Well,
or Lyles? Okay.
well, Lyles is going to start either way for Keegan. 4 hours ago, we got the Keon Ellis news, which was 1:30 p.m. I think it would be. Has Carter even started? I think it would be Monk. And honestly, I hate to say it, but I want it to be Carter. If it's Carter, I love Carter. There's a
Mm-hmm.
world where it's false.
Oh boy,
uh,
2025.
guy got drafted ahead of Tatum. Never forget. It's gross, dude.
It is.
This kid. Wait, Hero has shooting guard, right? Okay, this is what we're gonna do.
With
Yes,
Davion
thank
at
God.
point.
Okay, we're
Okay,
going Davion and then Hero at shooting guard.
perfect.
That feels a lot better. Sitting here like, do we really have to play freaking? Okay, 5,700 per. We pay down one, maybe pay up with the other. I mean, we got if Durant's out, it's definitely Stewart. Otherwise, it gets tricky. DeRozan is power forward too, so like FanDuel at least gives us a little bit more maneuverability tonight. So now we could go small forward. I mean, Oster's kind of overpriced. Guys, I'm not looking at the chat. I'm sure you're shouting names at me right now. I'm sorry. Being stubborn, trying to get through this, and then we'll talk through the suggestions. Um, any shooting guards or forwards, man? I'm struggling right now here.
Let's see here. Um,
If
pull up the
Keon's in,
point
it's Keon, no brainer.
for sure.
But I don't want to build for a mid.
Let's get a little bit off the board here. Let's go with we can either go Highsmith or we could go with let's see. We go with Czar or Duncan Robinson. Do you like any of those names?
I feel the best about probably Asar.
Okay. I
It's a
like
little
Azar assuming
pricey.
capacity. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 71's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. And then we're left with what, 44? We can't even play Azar. This is brutal.
Oh boy.
All right, we'll go Duncan Robinson.
We just got big news, Nick. Jalen
Good.
Durant out, Tobias Harris out for Detroit. So here we
Okay,
go.
now we can backtrack, guys. This is why we were slow on purpose. And it's funny today. I said I didn't think we'd go to 7:30. Here we are. Now we go ahead and put Stewart forward. Keep Ware there. Now we can go ahead and put DeRozan small forward, 6,300 for a shooting guard, and or a small forward because we could pull Lonnie.
We got Stewart in there.
We got Beasley too.
Beasley's
Beasley
good
becomes a play now too.
for sure. Yeah.
God, it's just the price. Like they did a good job pricing, honestly. Like when it's hard to build, usually that tells me pricing is efficient.
Justin
Um,
Edwards out for Philly now too. Just came in.
okay, so we really do want Lonnie. I think Paul
Definitely Lonnie.
Hardaway. Dude, we were stuck in this no man's land here. It's just brutal. Point guard, if we don't afford Davion, who's cheaper? That's viable. Like nobody. Like Dallin, probably not. I did. We should have just not pulled up FanDuel. Apparently, go ahead and put Hero here, shooting guard. Let's go down to Duncan Robinson. Please God, give me something. All right, we got Levine. This
Perfect.
I usually wouldn't want Levine DeRozan. This lineup actually doesn't look terrible though. We got Lonnie and Duncan Robinson. If we could find ways to get away from Duncan Robinson, I'd be pretty happy about it. But right now we got Ware, Stewart, Lyles, Walker, DeRozan, Levine, Robinson, Cunningham, Hero. And then on DK, if we go back, I mean, maybe we want to pull Bona for Stewart. See what
It's
that gets
tough.
us. I mean, I like Bona more still, I think, honestly. But
It's so tough now. We got to pick two of those three centers on DK. It's gonna be tough.
yeah, guys, and that's gonna probably decide the slate tonight. So you gotta pick your favorite. I mean, the models. I don't think it's gonna update yet. Well, obviously, we just got that news. But if Duren's out, obviously that would change really quickly. But yeah, you see right now where Lyles Bona all way up there. Stewart's going to shoot to the top too, so just keep an eye on that. Again, that's assuming he starts. If they start Paul Reed, proceed with caution. I mean, Paul Reed could be like a Jericho Sims type where he plays like 15 minutes and just takes tip offs. But yeah, let's get to the chat here and then we'll wrap it up, guys. Do we like Duncan Robinson tonight? I don't mind him, man. Yeah, definitely scoring dependent, kind of risky. On a 2-gamer, though, you got to take some risks. Alabama Jones saying Grasby 8,800 is wild to me. It is to me as well. I mean, we were playing him when he was 9K and hot, though. He's gone kind of cold. Can still get there on a 2-gamer again. Downgrade the whole 76ers before any of the news. After the news, probably all next season. That's true power. They've been a mess. They're going to have to restart the process soon, I think. Yeah, not play Grimes. Durant out. Harris out. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, power. I love building on FanDuel for MLB. You only have to deal with one pitcher. Tonight, though, I will say main slate much better for pitchers than hitters. Larson or Hardaway. Eesh. I'm leaning Hardaway with all these guys out for Detroit. How about you, Jayhawk? I think it's close.
I know this is gonna come back to bite me in the butt, but I'm gonna say Tim Hardaway. So just expect a really bad game. I haven't played him all year.
Man, I mean, there's yeah. Hardaway's going to take shots, which we'd
Yeah,
like to see, but I mean, he's finally playing well. He sucked all season, but yeah, with you DFS, fire up Stu and Oster. No Justin Edwards. Appreciate you guys hitting the news, even though I didn't see it at the time. Is Bagley an option now? Yeah, in large field tournaments, I'd say yes. I'd still proceed with some caution because we haven't really seen him get over 20 minutes. Levine or Monk, if I think it's Levine for me either way. But I will say it's much closer and tougher of a decision if Ellis is out. Monk will look a lot better than he does right now, but he hasn't been playing the minutes Levine has. So Levine for me, I think either way. How about you, Jayhawk?
that's tougher. I think Levine probably. So now, if like you mentioned, Davion misses, it's more of a conversation.
Yeah.
Or not Davion. What am I saying? Keon. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Okay, I think we're caught up on news again. No Tobias Harris, no Jalen Duren, no Justin Edwards. Keep an eye on starting lineups, guys. I know we're expecting Stewart. I know that we're expecting maybe Monk to be in there for the Kings, but things could change. If it is Devin Carter, he's going to look really good. If it's Fultz, probably just don't play Fultz. I think he's going to be out there deferring for the most part, but who knows? Again, 2-game slate, you can take more risks than usual. You can play some of these gross names that usually, we'd say we wouldn't. All the more reason to get behind the paywall. Check out the model. Jayhawk, you are in Discord in 5 minutes, correct?
Correct. Yep. Crazy
Awesome.
slates tonight. This is one
Yeah,
of the
crazy slate for a
Yeah.
2-gamer.
What's going on, man? This is crazy.
Hey, and it's funny. I reached out to Boyle, who manages the NBA here at Occupy, and I was like, "Hey, man, is it cool if we only go for 30 instead of 45 today? Because we only have 2 games." And sure enough, we got all the news in the world, and we have more than enough to talk about. So, yeah, asking you shall receive, I guess. But appreciate you guys as always. Been a good show, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the tournament tonight. For my bracket's sake, I hope it's Florida, but it should be a great competitive game there. We got 2 NBA games as always. Back tomorrow, which is a much bigger slate. Take care, everyone. Keep an eye on those lineups. Have fun and good luck.
Thank you guys. Good luck.